Tēnā tātou katoa, good evening. Scientists have spelt out to Newshub another reason why it's so important to protect the immuno-compromised from COVID. It's because the virus mutates much more easily in them, and they become a breeding ground for new variants.
Official information shows one immuno-compromised patient returned a positive result in 4 separate tests since February. And genome sequencing revealed the virus had mutated 11 times in that person.
It comes as experts reveal the most transmissible variant yet, BA5, is expected to dominate community cases within 2 weeks. Investigations correspondent Michael Morrow reports.
Midday at a busy Auckland mall, and it quickly became apparent many were not bothering with masks, even in the presence of signs which reminded shoppers of their obligations.
It is a really important way of making sure that transmission of COVID and influenza is reduced.
And yes, under the orange setting, it's not just important, it's a requirement in places like malls. But tolerance for rules is waning.
So I've been here at the mall in St Luke's for about 8 minutes, and I've counted more than a dozen people who are not wearing masks. These people are not in food areas, but just walking around the busy shopping centre.
And masks and boosters are even more important right now, according to Dr. David Welsh, who's helping track the virus.
Cases are starting to increase, and it looks like we're at the start of a new wave.
Cases have shot up since Sunday. On Tuesday, the number of cases hit just over 8,000 with 16 deaths, followed by a slight dip yesterday, and today another 7,000 odd cases and 19 deaths. The more transmissible variant, BA5, is quickly getting established.
I think we're heading for BA5 becoming the dominant variant by early to mid-July, so, just a couple of weeks away.
BA5 is more transmissible and better at beating existing immunity. ESR wastewater tests show 3 weeks ago it accounted for 2.8% of infection. It doubled to 6% 2 weeks ago, and this week it almost doubled again, 10.5%. And BA5 has a distinct advantage over the current dominant variant, known as BA2.
It's somewhere in the ballpark of 40 to 50% more transmissible than BA2.
The pressure is very significant at the moment. It's probably one of the worst winters we have seen. We have influenza, COVID, a possible upswing of COVID starting to occur.
Official information reveals how effective the virus is at evolving if given the right environment. This ESR report details the case of an immunocompromised Hamilton case who suffered what's known as persistent infection. In essence, they could not get rid of the virus. They tested positive on 4 separate tests since the end of February. A genome sequence revealed the virus had managed to mutate 11 times while infecting the individual. ESR has systems in place to monitor the COVID-infected immunocompromised, and there's good reason. Dr. David Welsh says persistent infections can last for many months and become an ideal breeding ground for new variants. At the other end of the spectrum, there's reinfections. More variants means it'll be easier for anyone to get the virus again, even just a month after getting it the first time.
There's a small risk of reinfection in that period after 29 days, and we're now reflecting that in our guidance.
That advice is, if you have symptoms 29 days after first getting the virus, test. And if you're positive, you'll need to isolate again.
Well, Michael Morrow joins us now in the studio. Michael, I hate to say this, but is it starting to look like we might be heading back into the red traffic light setting?
Yeah, well, look, it is possible, or even a likely scenario. The Minister said today the last time we were at red, we had around 10,000 cases a day. We're currently sitting around that sort of 7,000 to 8,000 cases a day. But experts I've spoken to today say with the spread of this BA5, which remember is more transmissible, it's highly likely we will push over that 10,000 cases a day mark. Now, to help counter this, the government announced today that it's providing extra child-size face masks to school, and is also going to help pay for the heating bills of schools so that teachers and principals can open more doors and windows to ventilate classrooms better.
Michael, thank you.